Allbirds sent me a pair of their all-wool shoes. I put them on. They were so white and breathable and comfortable. They didn't have any fancy logos on them. They just felt good on my feet, and they were nice. They looked good, and they felt good. Do you know why? Because the most comfortable shoes in the world are made of all wool. Even Time Magazine said that. And they've got a couple styles. They've got the Wool Runner, which is your go-to lace-up shoe for everywhere you go. It's flexible, supportive, and so light. They take you seamlessly through your entire day, whether you're at work or you're playing at night. And they also have the Wool Lounger. It's breathable, lightweight slip-on shoe that's perfect whether I'm traveling on a red-eye across the country or going to see a basketball game. The comfort, style, and sustainability do not have to be mutually exclusive. Allbirds is dedicated to making stylish, comfortable footwear that uses premium natural materials designed for life's everyday adventures. Allbirds textile is made from superfine New Zealand merino wool using fibers that are 20% the diameter of a human hair. So unlike the wool you may be used to, Allbirds' breathable fabric regulates temperature and moisture without any itch. The holidays are right around the corner. You should consider Allbirds for a gift for someone on your list or, better yet, yourself. They're available in a variety of colors and styles. Pick the perfect pair at allbirds.com.
Want an easy way to see if you could save money on car insurance? Geico gives you 3. Call 1-800-947-AUTO. Go online to geico.com or stop by the Geico office nearest you. 3 ways you could save 15% or more.
And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head to death. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood. Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, dog?
I'm David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
And we are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio. What do?
We get a fine individual that supported this program consistently, exactly what they want, when they want it, when they need it. Podcast, television, and radio.
Jalen Rose, Game 1 is in the books. The Warriors dominated the Cavs on their home floor. Were you surprised at how easily the Warriors did away with the Cavs?
I was not surprised. Going into the game, we did our preview. I predicted that they would win by double figures. So in theory, I'm not surprised. What I am surprised is how it transpired. What we saw is the coming of age of 2 MVPs, both under 30 years old, playing on the same roster in the Golden State Warriors, dominate. They were the only 2 players in double figures. Think about this. The third person on their squad that had the most field goals was Zaza Pachulia. What? When you have
and
that
he wasn't
type
even
of
trying to get
firepower,
field goals.
No doubt about it. You saw him the first couple of plays of the game. He was rolling to the basket. He could have laid it up, could have dunked it. He didn't want it.
Nope.
And so when I looked deeper into their roster, it made me understand that when your team shoots around 40% from the floor, while you can win with your skill, there will players like Klay Thompson, still a lockdown defender. Draymond Green, still a Swiss Army knife. Andre Iguodala can still get out on the break and finish. Multiple players can still be productive. And when you force the Cleveland Cavaliers into 20 turnovers and they only have 15 assists, it says a lot about your effort on defense.
Not only did they have 20 turnovers, the Cleveland Cavaliers attempted 20 less shots than the Golden State Warriors. Do you think defensive rebounding and turnovers were the main problem for the Cavs?
I absolutely do. And I think going into game 2, what you just said, it's going to be trouble for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because both teams, while they were playing off a long rest, they seemed a little anxious. A lot of missed shots in the paint, a lot of missed bunnies and layups right by the hoop. And so I don't anticipate Klay Thompson to shoot as poorly in game 2 as he's been shooting the past 10 games, seems like. And so for the Cleveland Cavaliers, it's going to be paramount for them to give a better effort defensively. How do you play an entire playoff game and have 0 total steals for everyone that participated in the game? That's unacceptable. I'm pretty sure Coach Ty Lue is irate with his squad about that lack of effort.
You know who was the most trouble for the Cavs was none other than Kevin Durant. LeBron James addressed KD's performance after the game.
I mean, you take one of the best teams that we had ever assembled last year, that we saw in the regular season and in the postseason, and then in the offseason you add a high-powered offensive talent like that and a great basketball IQ like that, that's what stands out. I mean, it's no ifs, ands, or buts. I mean, it is what it is, and we got to figure out how to how to combat that. Which is going to be a tough challenge for us, but that's what stands out.
How do you combat Kevin Durant?
LeBron hasn't been this baffled since he decided whether he wanted to continue to wear his headband or not. When I watched the game yesterday, the first thing that came to mind is when Kevin Durant is on the offensive end, the only Cleveland Cavalier that should be standing in front of him, and it's not an accident, is LeBron James. Yep. Kevin Love doesn't have the size or the ability to move laterally. Tristan Thompson is a center. Yes, he may be able to defend him on one or two dribbles, but you could break him down, put him on skates, and pull up mid-range. Shumpert, J.R. Smith, they're too short. Kyle Korver doesn't have the defensive ability just to even be in front of KD. So I was like, this is going to be tough for LeBron. And also with that, KD looked hungry, looked thirsty. He was aggressive. He had an easy 38. I know his nickname is the Easy Money Sniper. But have you seen a guy get 38, 8, and 8, and it seemed like he really didn't break a sweat? He had 6 dunks in the first half. He wasn't settling at all.
Nope. You are a respected NBA analyst, one of the best. And you know what? I've never played in the NBA, but let me just throw this out there as a question. Perhaps the Cavaliers should not get out of the way when Kevin Durant is headed down the lane for a dunk. Just throwing that out there. What do you think? Maybe they should. I mean, what strategy were they employing there?
And once he got going the way he did, all of a sudden, second half, here comes Steph Curry. And people are not talking about the fact that Steph Curry had 28 points and 10 assists. They had 18 total assists between them. The entire Cavs team had 15. So it wasn't like that they were just scoring the ball and not sharing it. Their teammates weren't making shots. And so that dynamic duel, once KD got injured, Steph got his confidence back. He stopped being hesitant. He started playing aggressive. And now seeing that dynamic duel in the lineup together, it was lethal in game one.
Yep. So I'm watching the game, and I'm watching the Cleveland Cavaliers. I see LeBron James play well, especially in the first half. I see Kyrie Irving do what Kyrie Irving does, get to the bucket, pull up jump shots, a couple threes. He looked great. Then you're looking at who else is going to score. You look for J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson. You remember, J.R. Smith and Tristan Thompson, both signed to Clutch Sports, both part of LeBron's inner circle. And LeBron spent the last 2 off seasons basically forcing the Cavaliers' hand to sign those 2 to big contracts. Did they play in the game yesterday?
They were invisible, especially Tristan Thompson. And they did a really good, and the Golden State Warriors did a really good job of boxing him off the boards, taking away his layups on roll action as well as his dunks. And so when you get futile production from those 2 guys, Kevin Love, when you look down at the stat sheet, he did a really good job of rebounding the basketball, but those points were empty. Once he started getting buckets, the game was way out of hand. So for the Cavs, when you look deeper into their roster, they have multiple specialists. Kyrie Irving, by the way, man, it's great to watch him and Steph Curry on the floor at the same time. Between the legs, behind the back, hesitation dribbles, from 3, mid-range, finishing off the hoop, jumping off the right foot, jumping off the left foot, finishing with the left hand, finishing it with the right hand, finishing it in traffic, doing runners, doing floaters. But then I looked at the rest of the Cavs, I was like, Kyle Korver, it's going to be hard for him to get off a shot. Channing Frye, I would have actually gave him more minutes. I looked at one lineup where they basically didn't have Tristan in the game. I felt like that was a chance to possibly get him some minutes. So look for that to possibly be an adjustment in game 2. And so for J.R. Smith, he always is a guy that's a heat check caliber player. He will have his moments to make multiple threes. It didn't take place in game 1. And all credit goes to the Golden State Warriors. It wasn't about what the Cleveland Cavaliers did not do. LeBron James was actually terrific, in particular in the first half. But one of the things that the Warriors did, and Mike Brown, I give him a lot of credit for this, because I looked deeper into the box score and paid attention to his words. He understands that LeBron James is a terrific scorer, but also one of the best facilitators. So when LeBron James was penetrating, if you notice, they didn't leave shooters.
They were in those lanes, too.
So they're going to force LeBron James to be that 30, 35, 40-point scorer in order to take away spot-up jump shots from his teammates.
Jalen Rose, the only person that seemed to be able to slow the Warriors and our own colleagues was none other than Rihanna. Bad girl Riri first distracted Jeff Van Gundy during one of the most impressive plays of the night, and then was yelling brick while Kevin Durant was at the free throw line. Kevin Durant continued to stare her down after making shots, and in the post-game presser was like, what do you mean? I don't even know what you're talking about. I forgot that I even did that. Why was he denying that he was looking at Rihanna?
Because as long as you talk about it in the post-game conference, you give life to it. And once you start to give life to it, people start to pry and ask questions. Like, I wonder who she's at the game to see. Maybe she's hanging with one of the players post-game. Maybe somebody's creeping with her. Is she from Cleveland?
No.
Is she from the Bay Area?
No.
Is she a basketball fan?
Yes.
Yes, she's been to multiple games in the league. I see her as a supporter of the NBA. Jay-Z was also there. And so for her to clearly be rooting for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and by the way, when Kevin Durant is at the free throw line and you're yelling brick, it's almost like being in a pillow fight because you know he's going to make it.
He's going to make it. Yeah, he's Kevin Durant. Another thing is she has been sort of a longtime supporter of LeBron James. She has some Instagram posts where she's been sort of like, celebrating his number and his jersey. And my question is this for you is, after seeing all of this, does LeBron have to answer questions from Savannah about Rihanna?
After seeing all of this, he might not have to answer any questions from Savannah, but she might. I wouldn't be surprised if Savannah front row in game 2. Like, wait a minute. My house in L.A. just got vandalized. I'm in Cleveland with the kids thinking I'm going to host game 3. Sons and daughters probably playing basketball and enjoying their summer. Now I got her cheering for my man and posting IG and doing IG posts. Stay tuned. But again, the thing I always love about LeBron James is for public consumption, we've seen him be a son, a dad, a husband, a mentor, a philanthropist, a leader, along with being a great player. So when I look at the post-game conference and his wedding ring goes from knuckle to knuckle, it's all good.
It is all good. And at one point, Rihanna bowed down to King James and then was being sort of heckled by the Warriors fans around her, and she aggressively dabbed at them. Does Rihanna not watch this show and listen to this radio program? Does she not know that the dab is dead, Jalen?
She's one of those individuals that sets trends and not follows them. So I can't front. When I saw her dab, I'm like, is that back in?
Is it back? Is this like loose pants?
Okay.
This is like baggy jeans. Are we coming back around with this again now? And now there's this.
I turned into old man Jalen. I'm like, did I miss something?
Do I need to start dabbing?
I'm like,
I never
okay.
even started.
I'm like, it's not. Okay, got it. Okay.
Good.
I'm on top of this one.
Well, I'm on top of this next story. There has been reports from Us Weekly that none other than the Bachelorette, Rachel Lindsay, the first African-American Bachelorette in the history of the franchise, used to date Kevin Durant while they were both at the University of Texas. Jalen Rose, I have the fix for the Cavaliers after they were dominated in Game 1. Game 3 in Cleveland. Buy a ticket for Rihanna. Sit the Bachelorette right next to Rihanna. Get in KD's head. Is that not the key to the Cavs winning this series?
That is not the key. Because the last time I checked, you said used to date, and you said in college. One, the only things Kevin Durant did in college was lead the nation in scoring and in rebounds. For some strange reason, he didn't go first in the draft, but he did go to Seattle, and he set the league on fire. He's on pace to be a Hall of Famer, a 4-time scoring champ. So all you're going to do is make him explode for 50. You better leave him alone at this point because he looked like he was thirsty out there.
Well, we're going to get back to the game in a second, but let's stay with the courtside seats. Sitting courtside was none other than our brother, the Podfather. And right next to him was NBA stalwart Kevin Hart. My question for you is simple. Around the fourth quarter, does it get kind of annoying to sit next to Kevin Hart?
It does not, because I have a lot of friends that are comics, and all they do is tell jokes.
After a while, I just
that never gets old.
I'm trying to watch the game. I guess the game was kind of boring at that point anyway, so I wouldn't be upset.
They
but
were
if it
down
was close,
20.
I'd be like, yo, Kevin Hart, like, slow it down, Kevin Hart. I'm trying to focus in on the game here. Kevin Hart also...
I disagree with you. I disagree. It was a 20-point game. He became the Podfather's entertainment.
There's also Kevin Hart posted a picture of himself and his lovely lady next to him enjoying the game. He was in mid-guffaw. He was just laughing his face off. But I noticed next to him that he had cropped out the Podfather from the picture. Is getting cropped out of a picture by Kevin Hart a boss move or a soft move?
For Bill Simmons, it's a boss move because he didn't want to play third wheel in a picture with Kevin Hart and his wife. It's one thing if it was a picture of him and Kevin Hart like, man, I like this shirt. I like this outfit. I'm going to post this. Look at this. And then cut him out. But if he was sitting there with his wifey, then it totally makes sense.
Steph Curry, he put the screws to Under Armour. He was like, look, the Steph Curry 3s are not selling that well. I need the Steph Curry 4s. He sort of told them to rush them into production, get them on his feet for NBA Finals Game 1. And not only were they on his feet on the floor, after a big three to start the second half, he kicked them right up to his face to give everybody a closer look at the Steph Curry 4s and white on white. What did you think of this new debut of the Steph Curry 4s?
I like them. I thought they would fly. Stone, holla at your boy. Size 15.
I knew you were going to ask for a pair. I knew you were going to ask for a pair once we brought it up. And one thing that they did say that he felt the criticism of the Steph Curry 3 very personally. And I have a pair of the Steph Curry 3s. They play well. They look well. I have no problem with them. Do you think the lack of sales of the Steph Curry 3s have more to do with his performance and lack of MVP status on the court or the actual shoe itself off the court?
Well, the market can be so saturated. You have multiple high-level elite players in multiple sports trying to sell shoes. Now, entertainers have entered into the realm like Kanye and Rihanna. So I think a lot of that is based on it being secular and also having to be something that usually you really like if you're going to purchase.
I think that's fair.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Jalen Rose, it's time for Soft Move or Boss Move. I love Soft Move or Boss Move, and there was a lot to break down from news yesterday. Are you ready to start?
Let's get it.
Russell Westbrook. He didn't let Game 1 go without sort of throwing his hat into the social media ring. He posted a picture of himself watching not the NBA Finals, featuring his former teammate Kevin Durant going for 38. He posted a picture of himself watching Whoopi Goldberg in Sister Act 2. Is pretending that you're not watching the NBA Finals a soft move or a boss move?
It's a boss move, one. Two, he's probably going to be the league MVP, so he's clearly got a pulse on what's happening in the NBA Finals versus a team that he lost to in last year's playoffs in the Golden State Warriors, and clearly a guy that he played with a long time in Kevin Durant. What I will, however, say makes it more funny is look deeper into the actual movie he posted it. What did you take away from him posting that particular movie?
Do you know what made me think of that movie? I think Lauryn Hill is in that movie. Am I mistaken?
She was.
I was like, Lauryn Hill is in that. And I was like, that is an underrated film. I enjoyed Sister Act 2. That's what I was thinking. What did you think?
I was thinking that he has more than one TV.
I knew you were going to go that way. There's no way he wasn't watching. There's absolutely no way he wasn't watching. But I like that he has the sense to do what? To say, you know what? I'm not watching. I don't care. I'm watching Sister Act 2. And I also know this. he's got a newborn in the house. So you can't be watching anything. He's pushing paws. He's going to make bottles. He's warming milk. He's changing diapers. You know, when you got a brand new one in the house, it's all hands on deck. So he's definitely watching, but he's watching on a bit of a delay. That's what's happening in that house.
I'm not going to look deeper into the word sister and act while KD was going for 38, 8, and 8.
You're not going to, because something tells me you just went there, and it was brilliant, and I loved it. Thank you so much, Jalen Rose, for pointing that out.
That's cute, man. That's cute.
Next, JaVale McGee arrived to Game 1. You know Game 1 of the NBA Finals. You've got 9 days to put together an outfit. And what did he have on his head? He had a Shaquille O'Neal vintage baseball cap on his head. Is trolling Shaq by wearing Shaq's gear a soft move or a boss move?
I hope that he was wearing it because their beef is squashed. But since I don't think it is, I think it's a boss move. Because he's playing on the big stage. He's playing on the big stage. He's been with a few teams and basically in and out of the league the last couple of years. He's playing well. He's putting himself in position to get minutes and opportunities and possibly may get a championship ring this year.
And then we have this. John Wall has some time off. You know, he's in the off season. He's got some things to do. He's got to fill up his day with some activities. One of those activities was getting Mario Brothers Nintendo-themed tattoos all over his calf ankle area. Is getting your favorite video game characters tattooed on your leg a soft move or a boss move?
Tattoos, for me, period, are a boss move as long as it's something that's personal to you and it's not the face of somebody you never met.
I'm going to go soft move on this one. There's just like, first of all, when you're my age, Mario Brothers was a big part of your childhood. At his age, it was probably Mario Kart or something else. Like, he was not playing Super. He's never played Nintendo. He's never blown on a cartridge in his life. He doesn't even know the real Mario Brothers. He's never lived that real Mario Brothers life. So to me, it is a soft move. I apologize, John Wall. It's a soft move. Please come on the show. Next,
I hit him up.
Matt Barnes. Matt Barnes was on social media, and he was just putting out to the world some of his favorite pizzas. He likes Roundhouse Pizza, and he says it's the best pizza to eat cold. All dietary stuff aside, he did show that he ordered a ham and pineapple pizza. Is ordering a Hawaiian pizza a soft move or a boss move?
Ordering whatever you want, you're paying for it is a boss move. I don't have any issues with what he ordered.
You can't put fruit on pizza. You cannot put fruit on pizza. That's a soft move. You're always going boss move. You're too nice. You're too nice. Because you have
he
to talk
can eat
to
whatever
people.
he wants to
I don't have to talk
eat.
to Matt Barnes. I don't have to talk to Matt Barnes. That's a soft move. The pineapple, I've tried Hawaiian pizza. I'll try anything. The pineapple juice seeps into the crust. It's all wet and soggy. And the ham, it just doesn't work. Like, I would never eat ham and pineapple together unless I was in Hawaii. If you're in Hawaii, go for it. But when you're in California and you're ordering fast food pizza, just stick to the fastballs. You don't have to throw off-speed pitches when you're ordering pizza from fast food.
You got too much time on your hands debating what somebody should eat or not.
We have 2 hours on ESPN Radio every Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 Eastern. We will debate everything and anything that happens in sports and pop culture here on Jalen Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
We give the people what they want.
Yes. Next, we have this from Adam Silver. Quote, "So sure, the fan in me would love to see more competition at times, but on the other hand, I've said it before, I think we should also celebrate excellence," end quote. Is spinning blowouts as a celebration of excellence and fun for fans a soft move or a boss move?
It's a boss move because the fans attended games at a higher rate this year, which means attendance is up. Viewership is up. I would not be surprised if this is the highest rated NBA Finals ever, featuring 7 All-Stars, 7 of the last 8 MVPs. What was your favorite prize fight to watch on television or attend?
Any Tyson fight. Any Tyson fight was my favorite prize fight.
Okay. What was your favorite undercard?
I have no idea.
That's what you ask somebody that's talking about the NBA at this point.
I think that's fair. I think it's a bit of a soft. I mean, here's the thing: when you're in charge, you have to spin things positive. You know what I mean? That's just what you do. That's just sort of when you have that much responsibility, everything is positive. And then when you're with your boys and you're alone and you've had a couple, that's when you go hard negative. And something tells me that Adam Silver, when he's with his boys and he's drinking some very expensive wine, he's like, man, we need to get some competition in these playoffs. I promise you, that's exactly what he's doing.
But I think that's unfair to the league, and by no means am I apologizing because I talk about all of the things that I'm unhappy with sometimes. Look at how it played out. Let's just take the Cleveland Cavaliers journey, for example. They handled the Indiana Pacers in the first round. In the second round, the Raptors were playing without Kyle Lowry, which probably would have got them a game. The Boston Celtics were playing without Isaiah Thomas, and they actually won the game. Now let's go to the West. The Golden State Warriors in the first round. The Portland Trail Blazers without Nurkic. In the second round, the Utah Jazz were without George Hill. In the third round, the San Antonio Spurs were without Tony Parker and Kawhi Leonard. Had that not taken place, things would look a lot different. You wouldn't have two teams that only combined to lose once they got to the finals.
And then we have this one. Jay-Z and Kevin Hart were there, mixing it up on courtside, standing it up, just sort of socializing, and a photographer was there taking pictures. Jay-Z tells the photographer, take a picture of us while we're talking, and then kind of made a fake joke and did a big laugh. And it was a great photo, but my question for you is this, is premeditating a candid photo for the press, is that a soft move or a boss move?
The best photo I've probably ever taken is when I walked on the stage with a red and white suit and some red gaiters and shook David Stern's hand. What do you think he was saying to me?
That's a ridiculous suit, Mr. Rose. I hope you make enough money that you can buy some better clothes.
He was saying, go to the dentist and the dermatologist.
Sure, the Cleveland Cavaliers lost Game 1 of the NBA Finals. They have done this before. They have lost Game 1 and Game 2 to the Warriors just last year to come back and win the series. If you are a Cleveland Cavaliers fan or you are a hack radio guy that picked Cleveland to win in 6, isn't there hope? Isn't there part of this where you say, you know what, we've been down this road, the backs have been to the wall before in this building against this team. This is the pattern that we built last year. We are just repeating it. There is still so much hope. It was only one game. Please tell me it's true.
There is hope because your team is the defending champion. You have LeBron James. You have Kyrie Irving. Like the video game Frogger, where the goal of the frog was to navigate through traffic and make it across a freeway, is not something that I would advise. And if they get down 2 in this series, they're not winning 4 out of 5. It is not going down like that. And so if the Cleveland Cavaliers have a chance to win this series, they must, in my opinion, win Game 2.
There are now reports that Steve Kerr could be on the sidelines for Game 2. Would that give the Warriors a lift?
It would. And also not good for the Cleveland Cavaliers. They get an emotional lift, getting a chance to be led by their head coach who's dealt with some health issues for the last few months. And all of a sudden he's standing on the sideline as an inspiration. All of a sudden Draymond Green doesn't get 2 fouls early. Klay Thompson isn't 2 or 3 for 16 from the floor. Those guys start playing a lot better. KD still possibly going to be unguardable. I predict Steph Curry will find a way to be the MVP of this series.
You mentioned Klay Thompson was 3 for 16 from the floor. However, on the flip side of that, the Cavs were 1 for 12 with Klay Thompson as the primary defender. Is it okay that Klay misses, 13 shots a game if he forces 11 misses from the Cavs?
Absolutely, because when the start of the game happens, watch who he's going to be checking. He's going to be standing in front of Kyrie Irving. And as long as he's playing him, and then all of a sudden they do a one-force pick and roll, and they switch Kevin Love into the action, and he tries to post up Klay, and he's unable to back Klay down, and he shoots a brick, and then he shoots an air ball when they get a shot clock violation. As long as he's locking down on that end of the floor, his shots will come.
There was great video after the game of LeBron James being a leader in the tunnel as they're walking towards the locker room. He was leading the team. He turned around, gave everybody a 5, just sort of saying, look, we've been down before. This is going to be okay. It was very nice and positive, but we both know that when he gets back to the hotel room, he has his little glass of red wine, he's looking at his teammates, and he's talking on the phone with whoever he talks to, his best friend. Who is he saying they need to perform in Game 2? Who is he looking at being like, man, we need this person to show up?
Man, is Kawhi healthy? How's his ankle doing? We need that guy to check KD. Yep. Can we find a way to get him on our roster? In all seriousness, the answer to that question is Kawhi Leonard. Is his ankle healed? Can we get that guy to come run with us? Here's the thing. For LeBron James, he's going to have multiple responsibilities that I want everybody to pay attention to. Score big. They're not going to allow LeBron James to have both. Penetration while he finishes at the hoop, plus kick it out to open teammates. They're going to make him a volume scorer, 40, 50, and see if that can beat him. And on the other end, guard KD, because he is the one person that's going to be charged with doing it. And there were a couple of defensive lapses that were uncharacteristic by LeBron. Yep. In particular, a sideline out-of-bounds play where they threw the ball from one side of the floor to the other to KD in front of the Warriors bench. He tried to close out. KD pump fake, went right baseline, and dunked the ball. I don't think that he's going to be the kind of player in Game 2 that allows those lapses.
Let me just read a couple stats for you from the Cleveland Cavaliers bench. 0 for 4 from Darren Williams, 0 for 3 from Kyle Korver, 3 for 6 from Jefferson, 2 for 6 from Shumpert. Who of those players do you expect to get more opportunities and more minutes in Game 2?
All of them are going to get opportunities. I expect them to try to look to get Kyle Korver going, but anticipate Channing Frye being more of a factor playing minutes. He was a DNP in the previous game. I know they like to do a lot of lineups with Kevin Love at the 5 and LeBron at the 4. You try to mix Richard Jefferson in and do junk lineups when Tristan Thompson out of the game. This is why they tried to sign Andrew Bogut, who got injured for this series, for this moment. And so since he's not out there, Channing Frye now has to be the opposite of what Bogut would represent, other than somebody that really wants to beat the Warriors because he's upset that they traded him. A guy that can shoot the 3, now give you another player that might can make a handful of 3s in the game to give the court a different geometry when he's out there.
So I was watching for the game, and while he did finish 2 for 6, Iman Shumpert did step into a 3 and had a nice little mid-range jumper. We know what he can do on the defensive end. If J.R. Smith is not giving you offense, I would give more run to Shumpert. Could you see that happening in Game 2? No.
I disagree with you, because there is a saying that I like to use when I'm on the court. When you rotate into somebody, and then all of a sudden, you look at his Kyle Korver, you run out there. Mm-hmm. You look at his Kevin Love, you run out there. Oh, it's Kyrie, you on skates. It's LeBron James, you got to defend him. It's J.R. Smith, you run out there. When it's Iman Shumpert, he's open for a reason. Yeah. And so, yes, he did make one, but they encouraged him to take more. So while he can be a really good defender, if he's going to play more minutes, he has to be making a shot on the other end.
Klay Thompson and Draymond Green combined 6 for 28 from the field. 6 for 28. Do they have to get them going offensively, or can Steph and KD just carry the load like they did in Game 1?
Here's the beauty of the Warriors. They had 2 players make over 3 field goals in the game. And their other 2 top players still got up 28 total attempts. That's amazing. While still playing floor games, Draymond is still going to give you the rebound, still going to give you the assist. Yes, he was in foul trouble, but his toughness was still there. And you mentioned the stats for Klay defensively. As long as they're getting attempts, that ultimately is going to turn into production, especially playing at home.
Here was one baffling stat from Game 1. I had to look at this like 4 times. The Warriors committed 4 turnovers on offense. How is that even possible?
It only has happened 2 other times in the last 30 years of NBA basketball. That's because the Cleveland Cavaliers' defensive intensity clearly wasn't there. Nope. They played an entire 48-minute basketball game and nobody got a steal? I can fall into a steal.
Not accidentally? You know what I mean? Like getting hit in the back of the head and someone picks it up. Like, I'm just surprised that not even once did someone accidentally get a steal. One more thing. Do you think the Cleveland Cavaliers should continue their strategy of getting out of the way when Kevin Durant drives to the basket?
No.
Blue Moon is brewed with Valencia orange peel and a touch of coriander. It's a creative twist on a Belgian-style wheat ale for a taste that shines brighter. Taste responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hold on a second. Wait, I'm just getting some information.
To everyone else, it's breaking news. To Jalen and Jacoby listeners, it's broken news.
You'll never believe this, Jalen. Now there are more reports that Chris Paul is seriously considering signing with the Spurs. You have dispelled these rumors as exactly that for very good reason. Do you now think there is still no chance Chris Paul leaves the Clippers?
Chris Paul, a future Hall of Famer. He's earned the right to pick his shot, a la Babe Ruth. Once he got on the Los Angeles Clippers roster, he became the leader of that team, the best player for their franchise. And there's a level of autonomy that his play and his professionalism has allowed him to occur with not only ownership, but with Doc Rivers. He's not giving up that autonomy to leave LA. That's one. Two, when you decide to leave the Los Angeles Clippers and it's not a sign and trade, not only do you give up the power that you've accumulated, but you're going to walk away from $40, $50 million to play basketball?
All that other stuff you
the
said was
last
good.
time I checked.
I loved all the other stuff, but then when you get to the $40, $50 million, it's like, oh, okay.
And the third thing, he's already basically signed. Remember, when you see this at the bottom of the ticker, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend it's broken news. I'm going to tell you the day Chris Paul signed. The day you saw him at Soul Cycle with Jay-Z, he signed that day. He let everybody know that he loves being in LA. He loved being on commercials, a pitch man, playing with DeAndre, playing for Doc. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the roster.
We don't.
But I don't see him leaving the Los Angeles Clippers to go play with the San Antonio Spurs. Though, that would be a good look. Now, if this was before the new rule, a la KD, leaving OKC to go to the Golden State Warriors, and it didn't cost him that level of money, I would be worried if I was a Clipper fan, if I was Marcellus Wiley. But since that did happen, and the NBA did a great job of circumventing that rule, he will not be leaving the Clippers.
Two things. Number one, I'm not a soul
He just want
cycle
to be
dude.
recruited.
I'm a cycle house guy. I don't need to get my soul right for summer. I need to get my body right for summer. Number two, just let me go down this road with you. The NBA does control how the collective bargaining works and the different contracts. The NBA does not control state taxes. So it does look like $40 or $50 million on paper, but with no state taxes in Texas, it's actually much less than that. Do you think that could be a factor in his decision?
He just wants to be wooed like any free agent.
We all want to be
He wants to be
wooed.
walking down the street and Clipper fans running up to him, biting their nails, saying, please don't leave. Please. He just wants his teammates calling him and texting him, please don't
you
go.
You only get to do this once every 4 years, so you might as well go on some dates. You know what I mean? If you had to renegotiate a marriage every 4 years, you'd go on a couple dates to see what's going on. Except for me, I would never do that. 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 I would never do that.
The only loss that may take place in this recruitment of Chris Paul is Doc Rivers' hair.
I mean, is that really a loss? I don't know what's going on there. Is that airbrushed on? I don't know what's happening. We have this. When I saw this, I was like, I need to talk to Jalen about this. Hassan Whiteside bought his mother a 6-bedroom home. Bought her dream home. And just imagine that feeling. And I want you to take me behind the curtain. What is that feeling like when you make that phone call? You have that conversation. Whatever you do, what is it like to buy your mother their dream home?
Congratulations, Hassan, and to his family, because it's a terrific achievement to make it to the league. And you talk a lot about people not celebrating enough. In baseball, it could be the dog days. You notice, however, when they win a game, they're pouring water, They're putting whipped cream on players' face. They're dancing in the dugouts. It's embraced in that sport. For some strange reason in basketball or football, it's like, what is he smiling for? He ain't got no rings. And so for Hassan Whiteside, it's the score of the game, and it's the game of life. And I appreciate that not only he's able to do that, but hopefully the other 4,000 individuals that have played in an NBA game got a chance to do something special for themselves and or for someone they love and or for somebody that they love. The best thing I ever told my mother is you don't have to work at Chrysler Corporation anymore as a key puncher. Now, there's some pressure that goes with that. Here's why. You better last in the league if you're going to tell your mother that she better retire. Because my mother was working there 25 years, and I'm like, I got to get to practice. I got to work on my game. Because retiring means forever. And so that's what it's like to be behind the curtain. It's an amazing, awesome, terrific, wonderful, dream-fulfilling. It's a wonderful, amazing, terrific feeling, and I wish so many people got the chance to experience it.
Kevin Hart and Jay-Z were taking premeditated, candid pictures on the sideline during the game. However, they did get on a private jet and flew down to Los Angeles to party after the game. I know you were there. Did you get an invite?
See, here's the thing. I got a chance to dap up Hove, say what up, Doe, to Kevin Hart. They didn't invite me to the party.
I mean, come on. Like, you're there. You got nothing to do after the game. After your Sports Center hit, you're done. You could have jumped on that PJ.
Tata.
You could have gone out with
Tata,
them.
you ain't even tell me.
I know.
What up, Doe?
Some tells me you wouldn't have called me once you got to L.A. anyway. Do you want to hear the details of the Austin Rivers-Glenn Davis beef?
No.
Me neither. Okay, let's move on. Stan, the name, created, not by Eminem, but turned into a noun by the great song by Marshall Mathers, Detroit's own, has been added to the dictionary. Congratulations to him. My question for you is, if I keep trying, can I get competitive added to the dictionary?
Yes, keep trying. Let's work on it. And here's the other thing. It's bad for anybody named Stan or Stanley.
It is.
I got to holler at my boy Barrett.
It's a tough look. But Stan Barrett's good, though. He's fine. Next, we have our Stanley Cup Finals update. The Predators lost.
I like what you did there. You're a highly trained professional.
They lost game 2. I didn't even know I did that. They lost game 2 in Pittsburgh to the Pittsburgh Penguins. The series now shifts to Nashville for game 3. I actually watched game 2. It was exciting until the Penguins completely dominated in the third period. I will be watching game 3, and I will be giving another Stanley Cup update.
Can I give an update?
Yes, you can, Mr. Rose.
Let's go, PK.
PK got in a little fight, but it was more like they kind of hugged each other. It looked more like rough dancing than it was a fight. There was no punches thrown. It looked really tiring. And the announcer, Gary Thorne, my man, he was like, they're just going to tire each other out. And that's exactly what they did. It was a boring fight, and he went to the penalty box anyway.
Do it for the culture. They never should have traded you for Montreal.
Next, we have this. Kristaps Porzingis, as he has done before, was commenting on some Instagram models' pages. Come on, KP. And then another person pointed out that the Instagram model was only 18 or 19 years old, to which he said, oh, my bad. Soft move or boss move, randomly commenting on Instagram models' pages.
Soft move. That's why they make the DMs.
Great point from you, Jalen Rose. We have a voicemail line. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us voicemails. And when you leave us voicemails, we play them on the show just like
Call me,
this.
Hey, John from Atlanta. Shout out to Reg. Shout out to my girlfriend. Just was thinking real quickly, could the Bat make an appearance on the countdown for the finals? Can there be a Jacoby Day where everyone, the Beetle and Jalen and Chauncey and Paul, they dress like Jacoby? You know, dress how you want to feel. Give the people what they want.
Was that a compliment?
Thank you.
Shout out.
Thank you for the love. Appreciate the shout. Of course, anytime somebody calls our show, it's a compliment.
Great point.
Or
Great
a backhanded
point.
one.
Great point.
And we like both.
I'll take both. Yeah, whatever it takes. Yep. As long as you know
care.
my name, I'm good.
When you get jammed up, don't mention it.
Exactly.
That's all.
Exactly.
So a couple of things. Boss move by mentioning Reg. Anytime you mention Reg, you have a 98% chance to be on the show.
I do not support this behavior whatsoever because we have so many people on the staff. All of a sudden, Reg is getting all the shine.
So don't forget about
like,
John Lawrence.
Don't
forget about Carlos.
With like Harlan and Alex and Barrett
That's why
and Kels
I'm doing
and
this.
all the artists.
Don't forget about Harlan. Don't forget about Kels. Don't forget about Barrett. So now that's one. Two, I appreciate that he shouted out his girlfriend. But he didn't mention her name. Now, you can't shout Reg and now shout your girlfriend.
No, he got multiple girls. There's 3 women that are like, oh, man, John gave me a shout-out on the podcast. That's so sweet. He's getting 4 different texts right now.
And another thing for your last question. This Tuesday, which is June 6th, you may get an opportunity to see me carrying the bat on ESPN. Stay tuned.
More details forthcoming on that. Stay tuned. Let's stay tuned to this next voicemail.
Ooh. Jacoby, I'm here to report a nose-picking sighting. NBA Finals, got my man on the side, getting ready to report at the end of the game. Camera pans over. They're zooming in on Jalen. And there he is, picking his nose. My question to you, Mr. Rose, did you eat it? Did you?
All right, so we got to go to the tape. We got to go to the tape. We got to go to the tape for this one. Jalen, I'm going to ask you before we go to the tape. Now, listen, be very careful about this because this alleged nose picking is on wax. I'm going to ask you, give you one opportunity to deny this. You only get one opportunity to deny this. And if you deny this and there is videotape of you picking your nose, we're going to have a problem. Did you pick your nose during the NBA Finals?
Absolutely not. I think he said somebody that was standing behind me. He didn't say me.
I thought he said you.
He didn't say me.
He said
you. He said somebody standing.
You're denying that he even accused you of this. That's brilliant, Jalen. Congratulations to you. First of all,
he said me?
That is so great. Like, you are so 2 steps ahead of the game. You know what I mean? You are like, okay, not only am I not going to deny that I did it, I'm going to deny that I was even accused of it. That is some Jedi mind trick stuff right there. You don't even know what that means.
First and foremost, we all pick our nose at one point.
Great point. I pick my nose like at least 20 times a day, let's be honest.
Let me tell you when I'm not picking my nose, when I'm wearing a suit and a tie.
It's a great point. If I'm in the bathroom or something and driving the car, I'm definitely picking my nose no matter what I'm wearing. Thank you so much for the call. We will definitely review the tape. Right now, we have someone pulling up the tape to find out if you picked your nose. And by right now, I mean like probably over the next 3 days.
It won't be hard to find. I was on SportsCenter post-game.
If only there was a way that we could find out, oh, wait, social media. If you picked your nose, I would know by now. Like, I would at least gotten 25 tweets about it. Let's listen to the next voicemail.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Adam from California. Quick question for you guys. I want you to settle a debate that I'm having with my friends once and for all. Is your hand a part of the ball in pickup? It happens all the time where you're going for a steal and you touch ball first, and then you may get a little bit of their hand and they'll call foul. And I think it's kind of ticky-tack, but I want you guys' opinion on it. Thanks, guys. Keep giving the people what they want. Bye.
Can I take this one first, Jalen?
Get it.
Here's the thing. Rules don't matter. What is written down on the paper, you know what I mean? What Joe Naismith put down on the paper and what's been added to that paper ever since does not matter in pickup. It is an honor thing. And if it is a clean steal, whether it's a foul or not, it is whether or not, it's basically, is it a soft call? Yes, it is a soft call. There are clean steals in which there is contact, and there is also soft calls when someone gets a clean steal and touches you a little bit, and then you're like, oh, you hit my arm. It's like, yeah, I hit your arm after I already poked the ball away. That's my take on that one. It's not about the rules. It's about the character of the person making the call.
David Jacoby, what's the gentleman's name that invented basketball?
Joe Naismith? Steve Naismith? Naismith? Joe Naismith, right? It's in Springfield, Massachusetts, right down the block. Shout out to the 413. What's his name? Alan Naismith, Joe Blacksmith, David Jacoby, Joe Naismith? No?
Don't tell him, John Lord.
No one told
Don't
me.
tell him, Harlan.
I'm going Joe
Don't
Naismith.
tell him, Reg.
I'm going Joe. You know what? Here's the thing. There's a Naismith that did it, and if his name's not Joe, his cousin Joe was the one who really invented it, and then Robert Naismith stole it. Okay? You would think me being from the 413.
I got one on you, finally.
You would think me being from the 413, I would know this answer. I apologize to everybody in Western Massachusetts, everybody in Springfield, and I also apologize to everybody in Springfield because we beat you in high school basketball when I was a senior. Let's listen.
Jacoby, what is something that you love to do when you're not spending time with your lovely family? What is your favorite thing on this earth to do?
Play basketball poorly.
And you don't know the person's name that invented the sport?
Did we not go over this earlier in the week? I'm concussed right now. I have post-concussion syndrome, okay? I've got a headache right now. My brain's not firing right. You know what? You're lucky I'm even here, Jalen Rose. You could be doing this show with somebody else right now.
Good point. I stand corrected. Now, really quick to the caller's question. There are different points of the game where calls are valid. Your hand is more part of the ball late in the game than it is at the beginning of the game. And it's also about who's making the call. If you're the person playing reg ball that always does weak calls, everybody's like, every time you make a call anyway.
Maximus Naismith? Bryce Naismith? LeBron
I'm
Naismith?
just so
LeBron
glad.
Naismith? LeBron Naismith? Jordan Naismith? Jalen Naismith, the original Jalen. Not only did you steal his game, you stole his name.
All I know is this. In the speed round of Family Feud, you scored 173 points.
It's a great. All I know is this: is they're gonna make one of those stupid animations about me not knowing the guy's name, and I'm already see it. And it's gonna make me look dumb. I'm gonna be watching with my wife, and she's gonna laugh at me, and I'm just gonna sit on the couch and just sip a beer and say, "Whatever, I'm on TV."
You can cuss. That's all. Get well soon, my brother.
Next, one more voicemail.
Hey, Jalen and Jacoby, and of course, shout out to Reggie. This is Kevin and BK. I listen to you guys every day when I'm walking dogs, getting them chucks. I just got to ask you, I can't believe it hasn't come up. Who has the worst beard, Kelly Olynyk or Steph Curry?
Oh, Kelly Olynyk.
Keep getting those checks, just like me walking the dogs.
First of all, one thing I love is Method Man often used walk the dogs as a metaphor for working to get money. You are literally and metaphorically walking the dogs to get money. I appreciate that, Kevin. I also love Brooklyn. And third, there is no worse facial hair, not just in the NBA, in sports, than Kelly Olynyk's gross, disgusting, straggly, ginger Brillo pad grossness that he has on his face. Please shave Kelly Olynyk. To you, Mr. Rose.
I'm with you on that. And I wanted to piggyback off of what you said about walking the dog, because Ice Cube recently came out and said that he's coming out with a new Friday movie. I would like Kevin to call back in and let me know what he think about Pop's dog walking role in those movies and how they're portrayed.
Please call us back, Kevin. We would never disrespect dog walkers. They serve the great animals that serve great
I got
people.
one thing to say about that, though. I got to ask another question to Kevin.
What's that?
I remember a United States of America when I loved having dogs. My older brother, we had Champ and we had Capone and we had so many dogs and animals and things like that.
Those are cultural
The greatest
names.
thing about it, when you walk the dog, didn't have to pick up after him. Now, you think I'm going to be walking around with a bag and walking around with a dog? And you use the bathroom, it's all warm? And I'm going to pick it up and hold it in my hand and walk around for another 15 minutes? And I wouldn't do this for my personal dog. Now, Kevin, this is where I give you love. I would do it as a job.
Oh, yeah. If you're paying me, I'm taking it. Shout to you, Kevin, and shout to all the dog walkers around the world. We have a simple motto on this program. It is... Jalen, we have some questions. The first one's from Shane. Is Rihanna courtside bad for LeBron?
Not at all.
Do you know what's bad for KD? Put Rachel, the Bachelorette, courtside in Cleveland. Please, 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 please do this. Us Weekly is reporting that he once dated the Bachelorette at the University of Texas. He was only there for a year. They couldn't have dated that long. But please put her courtside. Cleveland needs all the help they can get. I would love it.
LeBron James happily married. I'm not going to put that on him.
Next, this is from Matthew. This is for you, Jalen, obviously. You have to answer earnestly. Between you and me, but doesn't David Jacoby have the face of that annoying kid that would follow you around in high school?
Not at all. Not at all. I've been looking at that handsome face for the last almost 6 years. I can't see him as that type of dude. Sorry, I'm not rolling.
Nope. I didn't follow anybody around in high school, man. I was skipping classes in high school for real. I don't support that behavior. But like I went to like 30-40% of the classes. Sorry, Mom and Dad. This is from Daniel. Jalen, who is the best player you ever played against who never made the league?
This is an easy question, but please allow me to modify it some.
Please, do your thing.
The best player I ever played with that didn't play in the league is my brother Ray Jackson of the University of Michigan in the Fab Five.
That's right.
This guy was such an athlete. Yep. He was faster than all of us. There is no excuse other than the fact that the Fab Five was such the kind of group that became taboo amongst so many people that it kept him without a doubt, unfortunately, out of the league.
Shout out to Ray Jackson.
Money, what up, though? He listens and loves our program.
Good.
Shout out.
This is a great question for you, Jalen. It's from Father. Thanks, Dad. What is Jalen's go-to move when he has to dance?
Same old two-step. The Blade Icewood. Earl Flynn.
Yep. I've never heard of any of these dances. I've heard of the two-step, but the Blade Icewood, Earl Flynn, they'll sound like airports to me. Like, oh, what time do you land? I land at about 7:30 at Blade Icewood, and then I've got to connect, and then I get into Earl Flynn right around 9:30. Please pick me up or call an Uber or whatever. Next question that we have from our 1-800-FLOWERS Twitter feed. That is at Jalen Jacoby. Feel free to tweet us. Next question that we have is Rooster Jake wants to know, as a grown man, I recently lost my cool. Real talk. How do you deal with pressure and remain cool? And then he hashtagged it, the Tao of Jalen. Shout out to the Podfather.
Shout out.
That's one of the life balances we all have to endure multiple times during a day.
Mm-hmm.
That people come into your life for 4 reasons. To add, subtract, multiply, or divide. This is going to be a tough one. Because some of these people are actually in your family, and some of these people are your actual friends. Yep. You can still love them, but if they become a distraction, you got to find a way to love them from a distance if they get in the way from you accomplishing your goals. Don't cut them off. Don't ignore them, but find a way to love them from a distance. And when you have personal turmoil, rely on your faith. Try to find a way to do some meditation maybe. To give yourself a level of peace. Not many times throughout the day, with so many things as it relates to technology available for us, that we're not watching or listening to the television or the radio or looking or staring at our phones or computers. Find a way to take that time and energy back for yourself and continue to feed yourself like you would water a plant.
Great work. My advice is going to take a lot less time to give. Go walk outside. I had to do it yesterday. I was in my house, a lot going on. I was like, I'm going to go for a quick walk around the porch. I'll be back in about 10 seconds, and I felt much better afterwards. This is from Jay Wiley. If the Cavs lose in the finals, will the Cavs make an effort to trade for Melo or sign D. Wade? I can't believe we're already here. It reminds me a little bit about last year, right when they went up 2-0. We started talking about, are the Warriors the best team ever assembled? This series is not over, but let's still go down the hypothetical highway that Jay Wiley wants us to. Jalen, could you see the Cavs trying to add a banana boat brother if they lose in the finals?
In a hypothetical world, it should be hard for D. Wade to walk away from that $20+ million guaranteed that all he has to do is sign his name in Chicago to get and break that down and get a contract possibly from somewhere else for a couple of years. Hopefully that equals the same amount of money. I would love to see him back with the Miami Heat. For Carmelo Anthony, there may be talk about where he ends up, and I'm sure he would welcome a trade because he's trading the Knicks, not the other way around, to the Cavs. I don't think he fits there. I've been saying for the last 5 or 6 years, the Clippers need a small forward. That's his landing spot. And I got a dark horse for Carmelo Anthony. You ready for this? San Antonio Spurs.
Huh. Wait a second. You know I barely pay attention when you talk. You are saying there's a dark horse chance that Carmelo Anthony is traded to the Spurs in some sort of weird package that would include, I'm guessing, LaMarcus Aldridge's salary and some young players?
Stay tuned.
Interesting. I can't imagine whose salary would be big enough to match that because they don't pay players too much. But maybe LaMarcus Aldridge would be on the move. Next we have this. This is from Irwin. Rate Tristan Thompson's performance in Game 1. Is the curse of the Kardashians haunting Thompson, so he better?
For the individual that called our fine program and tried to allege that I was digging in my nose before I went on SportsCenter.
You're still salty about that. That was like an hour ago. I forgot that even happened. Shout out to you, Jalen.
That person heard me say this. The Kardashian curse is something that we can't take for granted. It existed in Game 1 clearly. I mentioned it in the pregame. We talked about it on this program. David Jacoby asked the question, what is the over-under that we're going to see multiple Kardashians wearing Cavs uniforms in the stands? Would you say 3 is a good number?
3.
What's your guess?
I'm going to say the over-under would be 2.5. There will be 3 Kardashian Jenners at Game 3 in Tristan Thompson jerseys. And finally, since you brought up Countdown, I have one question for you. Can you go blue on blue with the royal blue suit and the navy blue button-up and the patterned blue tie? It was fashion forward, Jalen. I would never do it, but I have to say, you didn't just pull it off. You made it look good. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for listening on ESPN Radio, for watching on ESPN2 and ESPN News, and subscribing to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast.
You're far too kind.